This is the Smash Beer Elite Stocks crown jewel of Arla competition, here for a 7 of 17, the Bob's Beef Brownies 100 from the Texas World Speedway. The pole winner was the number 1, driven by Robert Truex, his second pole in a row, and the second pole of the season for Sweeney Sport. Qualifying on Truex's outside was legendary Street Stocks driver Brenda Riggs in the 67, and qualifying behind Truex was Randy Hughes in the 43, making his first start of the season. And look at the show he's putting on, going for the lead, coming through turn 2. Former TM Master Cup Series driver Jack Bohart was making his Arla debut in the famous number 2 Smash Beer car for Pearson Motorsports. Bohart is trying to rebuild his racing career after being sidelined in a horrific 2005 crash in the TM Master Cup Series. Thurston Blood in the 57 was also making his Arla debut for PSI. This is the first week that all 3 PSI cars have made the show. The other 2 cars owned by that team are the number 14 of Bigsby Foot and the number 18 of Jim Kidd. The first caution of the day flew on lap 4. Coming out of turn 2, Bobby Portu and Terry Stewart made contact, sending Portu into the wall and causing a big pileup involving about 10 to 12 cars. If you look behind that wreck, you'll see another incident. It is unknown whether that resulted from the first wreck. Alex Carson led on the restart with points leader Jared Anderson right behind him. Randy Hughes restarted behind Anderson, but he wasn't content with third. He immediately pulled to the inside of Anderson to take second, and then he would power by Alex Carson to take the top spot, with Manuel Ortiz riding right behind him. However, coming out of turn 4, Ortiz gets a run on Hughes and decides to take the lead for himself. Moments later, Robert Truex decided to take the lead from Ortiz, followed by Kevin Colley. On lap 12, there was a crash that didn't bring out the caution. Bruno Battaglia drifts up into the path of Ryan's Saloon, collecting Kurt Walker and Bigsby Foot. Saloon and Walker would go a lap down while pitting for repairs. There was some debris on the track after this, which the officials quickly spotted and threw the caution for. Robert Truex continued to lead on the restart, but he was quickly challenged by Kevin Monroe, with Ricky Navarro right behind him. And then coming into the picture would be the 23 of Mike Andrews, who narrowly avoided the lap 4 wreck. And then Randy Hughes would catch up to the 23 and blast by him for the lead. Following Hughes would be Jack Bohart and Scott Hamilton, who was involved in the lap 4 wreck. And then Jack Bohart decided to take the top spot from Hughes, proving that he can still race competitively. But then Manuel Ortiz fought back and claimed the lead once again. Just like at all the other big tracks, lap traffic would be a problem for the leaders. Mario Franchetti holds up the field, the top 5 goes by. Then there goes Bob Steffens and Kevin Colley. This would really stretch out the pack and anger Franchetti's competitors. Meanwhile, Thurston Blood takes the lead away from Tommy Piper, and then Alex Carson takes it from Blood. A few laps later, Carson is going to get caught in the middle of a 3-wide battle with part-timer Tom Delgado and Leslie Riggs. Riggs will win this battle. On lap 30, the third caution of the day would fly. Alex Carson, Kevin Colley, and Neji Hugo are all going to get turned around up front, setting off a huge melee. I saw Bob Steffens in there, Tommy Piper goes by. Vinny Enzo is going to get caught up in it, so do Brenda Riggs and Will Schweig, and here comes the rest of the pack. Justin Parker, Scott Hamilton, Jack Bohart, the 07 car goes over. Allie Riggs is also collected. Where do the 01 and the 13 think they're going? This would take a bunch of good teams out of contention. Leslie Riggs continued to lead on the restart, but as you're going to see, Kevin Monroe will pull to the inside, taking Riggs' teammate Ricky Navarro with him. Tom Delgado will follow the 63 and the 34. I think Jared Anderson follows suit as well. They all blast by the 50 as Navarro goes for the lead. Everybody elects to follow him, leaving Monroe stranded on the outside with Riggs. Not long afterwards, Tom Delgado will take the lead for himself, followed by points leader Jared Anderson. Delgado is in his second Arla points race, while Anderson has not won a race in over 4 years. A couple of other notable cars in that group are Tommy Piper and Jason Bates in the 51. Anderson, Piper, and Delgado go 3 wide for the lead, with Manuel Ortiz almost making it 4 wide. Ortiz will take the top spot. However, Jason Bates soon caught right up to the 78. He's going to take the lead. More problems for the leaders in the form of Mike Anderson in the 23. Robert Truex is leading. Almost everybody is going to blast by without too much of a problem. Some cars do get slowed up, however. And then the leaders quickly caught up to the 01 of Alex Carson, Tom Delgado and Robert Truex are battling for the lead. Delgado and Truex blast by. The leaders were able to clear Carson without much of a problem. But then a couple laps later, Allie Riggs is going to pose a problem for the leaders. This time, a couple cars do get held up. Tommy Piper in the 84 and Robert Truex in the 1. Tom Delgado and Jared Anderson are going to jump out to a huge lead over everyone else. But then Manuel Ortiz would battle back and pass Delgado and Anderson in the same turn to take the top spot. And then the field would come up on Mike Andrews and put him another lap down. This time, Kevin Monroe, Ricky Navarro, and Manuel Ortiz get held up as Jason Bates pulls out to a huge lead. However, utilizing the draft, Robert Truex catches right up to Bates and passes him in the closing laps of the race with Delgado right behind him. And then Alex Carson would hold up the field once again, this time Delgado being the beneficiary. Tom Delgado might not have had to worry about the rest of the pack had there been one fewer lap in the race. Robert Truex and Ricky Navarro caught right up to the 37 cars the white flag was waving. Delgado was not able to hold off both the 1 and the 34, and coming into turn 3, Robert Truex got on the inside of Tom Delgado, and he didn't look back as he cruised on to his third career victory and his first since his rookie season in 2003, 5 years ago. This would also be Sweeney Sports' second consecutive win. Their first was with Junior Hardern last week at Talladega. Tom Delgado would have to settle for second. Kevin Monroe and Jared Anderson continued to perform very well this season. However, they both do not have any wins yet. Fifth would be Ricky Navarro. That's one of his best finishes of the year so far. Tommy Piper gets his career best finish. Manuel Ortiz continues to impress here at the big tracks. Leslie Riggs and Jason Bates emerge as two more drivers to keep an eye on as the season rolls on. And Kakashi Hatake quietly finishes in 10th. And here, top 10 in points. Everyone's starting to get a little more spread out points-wise, but the battle is still very fierce. Jared Anderson continues to lead the way. Kevin Monroe remains in second. Leslie Riggs jumps up to third. Anthony Griffith remains in fourth. Manuel Ortiz moves up into the top 5. Kevin Collier remains in the top 10 even after going a lap down. Matt Scarano remains a very quiet contender. Then Chris Johans, Bob Steffens, and Kakashi Hatake round out the top 10. The next race will be the Oops Medical Center's 100 from the Langhorne Speedway. This is CJ, signing off.